Hello everyone and welcome to the next installment of the Eaveecraft Business Let's Play tutorial series. I'm Jalapeno and today we are going to be starting on working with the quarry for our first set of automated resource generating. You'll notice I've changed very little bit. There's only one low voltage solar array that's powering the CESU now, which covers both my machines here and my automated crafting system. Now, one low voltage unit is not enough to power everything, but I do have a fair amount of power still in my system. And I am making more arrays, but I'm starting to run low on resources. So I'm going to be focusing more on the quarry. Now, the quarry I'm going to put the block down now, is going to be extracting this area. I have to make sure that none of my blocks are within this grid. I don't mind the dirt being taken, but what will happen if, say, like I had this grid going through here, it will actually destroy this part of my auto crafting system, so I don't want that. Um, Now, I do need to power it, which is going to happen with this power box. However, since I haven't actually set it up yet, no, I'm derping as far as the recipe for the Buildcraft wrench goes. There we are. I need a stone gear. That's what I'm missing. There we are. Now, if you'll remember, all these corners of the power box can be set to either an input or an output. I am going to set this to an output. It doesn't matter if it's outputting to an industrial craft machine or something that uses Buildcraft power. Either way, it'll know what type of power it needs to output. Now, what you see here is actually a medium voltage solar array. Now, this is the equivalent of 64 solar panels. This is where all the solar arrays that I had here, along with the most of my resources, have gone into. Simply put, the quarry is going to be a huge drain on energy, and by having this area segmented with the medium voltage solar array, not only will during the day I get a fair amount of power, but it will not affect the rest of my systems. I don't have to worry about a complete power shutdown. So I'm going to throw this quarry down now, and now it's clearing out the dirt and it's building up the frames, and look how fast this is going. This is simply because of the fact I have so much power in here, but look how fast that's draining. You remember, one energy unit is equivalent to 5 EU. So that means right now it's using about 500 EU a tick building this. But that's just because it's running at absolute max power. But as you can see, it's going to drain really quickly, which is why I didn't want to have it on my network. So now it's actually starting to dig. The items are showing up in the chest. You'll notice they're not being removed at this time. That's because I had actually removed this cabling from my network simply because with only one low voltage solar array, I just don't have the power capabilities right now to properly sustain it. But just to show you how it works, I'll put that up. And there you go. It's now taking the dirt as it comes in. But we're going to keep this off for now. Let's see our low voltage. We need some tin. So now this is actually going to be consistently gathering me resources. Now, at the level we're at now, level 6970, I'm not going to get much more than just stone and dirt, but once it gets down into, the 50s, 40s, 30s, I'm going to start getting a fair amount of coal, iron, quartz, and then once we get to the really low levels, gold, redstone, diamonds, all that sort of wonderful stuff. Now, while this is operating, since this can now run completely on its own, I'm going to introduce you to the next mod we're going to work with, which is Mystcraft. The reason why I want to show you this now is because, as I mentioned in one of the first episodes, this is only a temporary base. This was just something to set up shop, to kind of get myself established, but this is not where my final build is going to be. My final build is actually going to be in a Mystcraft world that's specifically customized for me and is only accessible by me or someone who has access to my Mystcraft book. Now to get started, there's three, even though they look very similar, there's three different blocks here. This is an ink mixer, this is a writing desk, and this is a bookbinder. The only items you actually need from the very beginning are the ink mixer and the bookbinder, and I'm going to show you how this works. The ink mixer allows you to create link panels, which is the primary source of creating new books. In Mystcraft, a book basically is a new dimension, so think of it as your own Nether or your own The End or Twilight Forest, anything like that, but it's customizable. In order to make the link panel, you first have to have some ink vials. When you place ink vials in here, it fills this up just letting you know it's more or less fueled. You put some paper in there and you have access to a link panel. Now every time an ink vial is used, it outputs the glass bottles. This allows you to, basically reuse your glass bottles, and once we put enough effort into it, we can actually automate supplying the system with new ink vials. An ink vial basically is a water bottle, so a glass bottle that you've taken to a water source and just filled up like this. There we are. So there's my water bottle. And then if you have two ink dyes, black ink dyes, so it could be ink sacs or black dyes, whatever you happen to have, two of those together makes the ink vial. Once you have your link panel, you move on over to the bookbinder. And the bookbinder basically is where you create your world. So in this case, we'll put our link panel in there, and now we have leather up here as well. We can actually assign this a name, so I'll say test world. And this is the descriptive book is the actual world being created. Now, what's going to wind up happening is, because I'm not specifying any custom stuff yet, it's actually going to create a random world for me. So it could really consist of anything. So you'll see I've already created a few worlds here. I'm going to show you the new one that I've created, and you'll notice it's now labeled test world. This way, if I create multiple worlds, say I create one to do mining, I create one for adventuring, whatever, I can have them easily labeled and accessible. In addition to that, if I have friends who have their own worlds, they can give me a copy of their books, so then I have easy ways to teleport to them. But in any case, now that I'm ready, I can actually click on the black square here. Page 1, there we go, and it's generating my world. It'll take a minute to load up because this is a brand new world. So it looks like it's more or less a flat land. There's almost no hills except for some gravel stacks, and it's entirely cobble and dirt. This is actually the sky is a dark blue as opposed to a normal blue. Now, as a normal member, you don't have the ability to fly unless you have a jetpack. I'm actually going to turn the rain off because I know that's actually caused you guys problems with the hearing before. I can't actually turn it off, so this world actually has perpetual rain, which means that it will always be raining. It will never ever stop. And apparently there's lightning strikes. This is spring water. This is actually healing water, where whenever you're in it, it gives you your regeneration effect. Now, the one thing that we are going to do in Mystcraft is we need to find pages. Pages effectively are what gives you the ability to customize your worlds. So I'm going to set up flying. Now, as a normal member, unless you're using a jetpack, you do not have the ability to do this. But anyone who donates or uses a jetpack can do this. So this actually shouldn't be, this isn't that much of a reach for most of you people. It's almost essential to be flying to look for pages. If you don't have the ability to fly, I would highly recommend trying to buy pages through the auction house or through friends, basically because it's going to take you forever to find these pages. But people can find them and clone the pages and stuff like that. So as long as you generate some money another way, you can actually still create your own custom Myst worlds. Now, what you're seeing here, I've actually opened up my my main map here by using the X key on my keyboard. What I'm looking for is a structure, which is identifiable there. Now, this is actually going to contain some pages for me. There's a lot of pages, so you may have to do this in multiple worlds. There can be more than one structure per world as well, but they are kind of rare. So the first page I found is Extreme Hills. So this basically will allow me to create worlds that have the Extreme Hills biome. Apparently I also have the River Green biome. So, I'm not sure exactly what the River Green biome is. My guess will be it'll create rivers and the water itself will actually be green. Now, if I wanted to, I could destroy these cobwebs. If I wanted to take these bookshelves, I could do that too. But I don't really need any of that stuff, so I'm just going to move on. Now, remember, this world, no one else has access to right now. Even if they came to my claim right now and opened up my book, they actually don't have the ability to open the book and click on it. I would actually have to provide them with access either to my claim or give them a copy of my book. Alternatively, I guess they could teleport to me, but even still, they would require my permission. So I can actually build anywhere I want to do anything I want in this world and not have to worry about other people building right next to me or taking any of my resources. I'm going to look around just a little more, see if I can find another structure. I was actually really lucky I found that one so early on. Typically, they are very rare, and most worlds I generate, I could spend 20 minutes just flying around trying to find one. Now, as far as customizing the worlds goes, there's actually an infinite number of options. We do have some stuff disabled just simply because being able to create worlds where it's basically just an ocean full of fuel is a little overpowering for something like an economy server, or something where instead of all stone down here, it's all diamond ore. Those types of things are disabled. You can use them in the single player version. You just can't do it on on our multiplayer server. And I'm not having any luck finding another tower. Oh, that might be one up there. Indeed it is one. Alright, so we can get a few more pages. Let's see what we have here. Survival Skyline biome. I have no idea what that looks like. Apparently I'm still in God mode. I really try to avoid that when I'm doing these tutorials and playing on the server. But obviously, since I am the owner of the server, whenever I'm administrating it, I've got mode on just to, make my life easier. But, so the other biome we got was the nether biome. So, that will actually be really useful when we get into the bees and stuff like that. There are certain bees that require being in the nether in order to be properly bred. And so that will allow us to do it without actually having to use the real nether, simply because of the fact on the multiplayer server, our primary extra dimensions, so the nether, the end, and twilight forest, are subject to being reset at any given point in time. So this way I don't have to risk losing any of that stuff. So now that I found those pages, I'm going to leave them. Normally with Mystcraft, that's not good. Now that is why it's actually producing faster than I expected it to. Alright, we'll just quickly clean this up. So it's actually dug down really fast. I was not expecting it to get down that quickly, but that is just amazing because that just means I'm going to get resources even faster. Let's see what our power is at here. Our power is getting drained pretty quickly. So this thing's pretty much going to stop once it hits nighttime, but we might actually be done with how fast it's going. We might actually be done clearing out this section before nighttime even hits. So what I'm going to show you now is actually how to create a custom world. I'm going to open up my writing desk here, and you'll see I already have a notebook in here. It's craftable. The recipe is in NEI. The whole point of a notebook is to basically store all your pages. So I'm going to put these pages in here. And now obviously it looks a little messy. If I click on the middle right mouse button, it'll sort it all for me. So these are all the pages that I've been able to find so far, and this is actually a fraction of what's available, and most of these are really not all that impressive. I've got Eternal Storm, which is basically what you saw in that previous world, which is just, constant raining and lightning strikes. Desert, swamps, I've got a lot of biomes. So for example, if I want to create but now here, I can actually copy these pages. Like, I can take them out of the book, where I can put them in, but once you use a page in creating a world, you lose it. So you need to copy pages either to sell or just to use in your own books. Now, I've put some paper up here, put some more ink vials here. This indicates that the ink is maxed out. So now I'm going to, let's see what that river green page is. So that. Okay, so basically what I do is when I want to copy a page, I'm being silly. You don't just take the page and just pop it over here. You instead actually just right click on it while it's in the notebook, and it will actually create the symbol for you. Use a paper, use a little bit of ink, and then you just take it out. So now I still have my river green biome. I've actually got two in here now. In my notebook, but now I have two unique pages. So if I want to do something else, let's say we're going to say we want it to be a single biome as well, and that should be it, because these are all I'll say it's an oak wood block, just to be thinking. The one thing you have to be careful of when you are creating your worlds, you need a link panel, you can't create conflicting symbols. If you do, you can cause instability in your world, which does all sorts of bad things, which we'll cover when we actually stumble across them. So in this case, the way things work is you put in your symbol, and then any modifiers you want come in before the symbol. For example, if I want a single biome, I believe I put that in first, and then I put in the river green. I might be mistaken, it might be reversed. I'll have to double check that. Well, I guess we'll find out. So we'll create our descriptive book, and now it's going to use these 3 pages in addition to other stuff, because I haven't specified whether I want it to be day or night or rainy or whatever. So it will add some randomization, but it will at least have these factors. So I'll create this book. This was the world we had just created. We'll put this one in, and we'll load it up. And it looks like this one is raining too. We see now we have our plains biome. Actually, it's a lush swamp. So that might be because I got those pages reversed. Because I got them reversed, it might have actually canceled out, which is why we were seeing that. But you will notice everywhere you see one of our pages did actually take effect, which is the oak wood. It's absolutely everywhere. There's actually some glowstone here, which I'm going to take as well. So, I mean, this is really a nice treat for me, simply because now I can get this glowstone, and I don't have to travel to the nether to do it. I know I was finding a little bit in the overworld, but I mean, obviously this is just a bonus amount of stuff. So, that's effectively Mystcraft in a nutshell. It does get more complicated, but really what you've seen is enough to get you started. You are going to spend a lot of time just flying around trying to find more pages and trading with people. It is a lot of effort, but once you do it, not only is it lucrative because people will pay good money for filled out notebooks, but also it then allows you to create multiple worlds where really you can just basically create exactly what it is that you want for whatever purpose you want. So, example, a world like this, I probably wouldn't have created this exactly how it is, but this world might be a keeper simply because if I need glowstone, well, it's absolutely everywhere. So this might be a world where I just keep it around for a while specifically for that purpose. I'm not really going to have much need for all this oak wood, but that's not bad. So I'm just going to quickly fly around in this tutorial, just quickly see if I can find a structure. Now, pages can also actually be found in dungeons. So if you're just a person who likes to go adventuring, you can go into Twilight Forest. You can just go into dungeons in the mainlands or in a mist world, and you can potentially find them in chests. And server's probably saving, so it's taking a minute to load up. Alright, so this is a river green biome. So it kind of looks like, even though it's not exactly right, maybe our page did actually take effect, because I'm seeing this water type everywhere. So I guess it's just there's segments of it where it's all green. It doesn't produce any kind of effect or anything. It's just a fancy color. And there's probably more than just the color green. So I know there's one page I'm looking for, which is the chocolate milk page, which would then allow me to basically create worlds where all the rivers or oceans are made out of chocolate milk. Doesn't really have much of an in-game benefit. It's just cool. I mean, who doesn't want to live around in an everlasting supply of chocolate milk? The only problem with all the rivers that there are in this biome, which again is because I specified a single biome, with all the rivers, it's going to be hard to find a structure because so much of this land is being covered up by water. Now, I'm not sure what this is over here. This might be a slime island, which is something else I should show you guys. You can find these on the mainland as well. Yes, this is a slime spring. So, this is just regular water, but you'll notice I'm actually jumping. Like the bouncing here, I'm not pushing the space key or anything like that. It acts like kind of like a rubber pad. It's like, oh, well, what is this? This is congealed blue slime. Now, you can actually do this on the tree as well. I don't think, let's see, I do have an axe. I don't think tree captor counts these as trees. We'll see. No, it does not. But somewhere in here, you can actually get saplings. It is possible to get them. I'm not happening to find one, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. Come on, saplings. But the benefit of these is when you do find one or more saplings, you can plant them back at your base and grow these trees. And then I'm sure you're asking yourself, well, why the heck would I even water? I mean, they're kind of cool, but what's the point? There's a sapling. I guess there's a few. Well, first off, die slime. The main benefit of those is that you can actually take these slimes that you're getting and convert them into slime balls. So you see, the one congealed green slime, which is basically a tree block, is worth 4 slime balls. So now I have 20 slime balls for just chopping down that tree. And then with the saplings, there they are, I can plant them, grow more trees, get more slime balls. So that will help in any recipe that requires them. Plus, people will pay good money for slime balls, just because they're useful in various weapon and armor enhancements. I'm not going to ninja everything here. Now that I've got those 2 saplings, I'll actually be able to grow my own little sapling farm when I actually find my proper base. So with that, I'm going to end this episode. We're actually going to end a little early. Really, I'm going to be spending a lot of time trying to find my new base and collecting some more pages. You will probably spend a fair amount of time trying to do that as well. When we come back, I am probably going to be going ahead and setting up in my new base, and you're going to see my new layout, and then from there we're going to start expanding into some of the more complicated mods that deal with tools and armor enhancements and things of that nature. So this is Jalapeno signing off. Again, subscribe, let me know how I'm doing in the comments section, and I will talk to you all later. Bye!